Hey everybody, how you doing? Saturday night, Crushing Cans, episode 3 here. We are joined tonight with my co-host Brandon,
How's it
and
going?
our guest, our first guest actually from Winnipeg's best rock, number 1 in the city, number 1 in the country, in my opinion. The awesome, the man, the myth, the legend, Phil Aubrey. How you doing, buddy?
Number 1 in your hearts. That's all that matters.
Absolutely.
That sounds like the pitch you gave me to get me to come on this. So yeah,
I wrote it down a few times, so I remembered it.
Awesome. Great to be here. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, this is it's going to be a great show here. We got Jets and Habs coming up in just over an hour. So should we get into the beers right away, boys?
I think so. Let's go guess first. What are you drinking tonight, Phil?
Well, go local. I got a little bit of a little brown jug here, a golden ale.
Oh,
that's
nice.
that one is so good.
It is good. I've also got some 1919s in the. I have a beer bag right beside me. That's how prepared.
That's how we go.
I'm so prepared tonight. I got a little towel to wipe these off so I don't get. I'm in my son's room, so I don't need to make a mess in here.
All right. I also got Winnipeg's own Devil May Care. I got nothing but the hops here coming in 6.4 West Coast IPA. So we're coming out the gate high stepping.
All right. I got it's from Big Axe Brewery. It's just a little brewery here in Nakwik, New Brunswick. This is a Roll in the Hay New England IPA. So I always make a joke with the wife that we're going to be rolling in the hay later on when I get into these ones.
There you go.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers. Cheers.
Well, let's start off with Phil here. You're Winnipeg renowned, always pumping Habs. How did you become a Habs fan, or were you always growing up?
That goes way back, like as far back as I know. My great grandpa to my grandpa to my dad, and then to the whole family. So my dad grew up in a town called Kirkland Lake, Ontario.
Okay.
Very close to the Quebec border. It was, according to him, half the town is Leaf fans, the other half is Hab fans. He clearly picked the right team, my great grandpa, and then my grandpa and him. So that's just the way in the blood. And we didn't grow up in Winnipeg. I didn't move to Winnipeg. Well, I did, but I didn't. We were 7 years old by the time we got to Winnipeg, and it was already in the blood by then. Montreal Canadiens fans, and man, we grew up. I don't know if this means anything to you guys, but listening to the French CBC, the broadcast on the radio.
Oh yeah, classic.
All gathered around in the kitchen with the French CBC on, like "Et la vie!" and we're
that's the best.
Playing the Quebec Nordiques, and yeah, it was definitely Saturday nights in front of the TV with my brothers, my dad, and then every now and then my grandpa. So yeah, it goes whole life. It's no other team now. Since the Jets obviously came back, you got a 1 and 1A in the mix. I love following the Jets as well, but the Habs are in my blood.
You've had to like this season then, right? You get the 9-10 games against each other. So
it's fantastic.
Maybe go 50-50, pick one, pick the other.
I know a lot of people don't like those late games, but on a Saturday night, a 9 o'clock Jets game once in a while, I haven't minded that.
Oh, you can't. I mean, like me being a Sharks fan, I'm used to the 9 o'clock games, but even like getting the under the lights, the hockey night in Canada, the Habs, the Jets, like especially being here too, you know how the city gets. They just get fired up, ready to go. And like I wish the whiteout parade or playoff thing could get going, because that is nuts to see.
Oh man, and we're getting close to playoffs now. The weather is nice.
Yeah, and everyone's getting the TVs on the patios.
Yeah, getting together would be great.
I was going to say, I have a couple of buddies serving the military in Winnipeg. They absolutely love the city and loved it when the team was on that run. They were there for it. So it's just incredible. Because I'm over in the Atlantic time zone, so those late games I am not a fan of, because it's like midnight for me.
It's dedication to the team, though, right?
Yeah, got to watch them.
Yeah, this city's on fire when the Jets make the playoffs and playoff hockey, and we're headed for that this year. And it's going to be like, it's been a fun year, Canadian matchup after Canadian matchup, but the playoffs, I mean, that's going to be just a whole different level in Canada.
Oh, especially like if the way it goes and you get Jets Oilers first round, the way this fan base here will get all over McDavid and just try and get on him, it's going to be wild.
Yeah, that would be crazy because what's it looking right now? We got Habs versus Leafs, maybe, and then Oilers against Jets.
It looks wild. Yeah, the Habs are going to have to go on a run to avoid the Leafs in the first round. And I say avoid, I don't think this country wants to avoid that. That is going to be, all due respect to it, the Oilers, Jets, which will be great as well, going back to the old Smythe division rivalries.
Absolutely.
Gretzky and Messier versus Howard Chuck and Boschman, Thomas Steen. But the Leafs and Habs is going to be insane. You talk about fan bases that are going to be losing their mind on a nightly basis. Twitter is going to be the jungle, man.
Oh, it's going to be so toxic. It's going to be nuts.
Toxic.
I'm gonna be right in it. I'm gonna love it.
Oh yeah, I can't wait.
Get in there and mix it up. We see. I just want to go to the chat quick. Jen LaPointe crushing cocktails tonight. Thanks, Jen, for joining us here.
There you go.
We've got Charmaine just said, "Hey, what's going on?" So thanks for joining us, guys. Petty. We love when the chat gets active. Normally, it takes them like 20, 30 minutes to get going, and then the chat starts buzzing.
But it's Saturday night.
Yeah, it's Saturday night.
Crushing Cans is on Saturday night.
Exactly. So tonight's game, we see Winnipeg's missing Wheeler. Did make a road trip, treating it as a concussion right now. So that top six takes a little bit of a hit, but I think there's still enough firepower in there. I want to get you guys' thoughts on tonight's game with that lineup. Wheeler out.
You want to go
Brett?
first, Mark?
I'm not exactly sure who's jumping up into the top six, but as you can see, Andrew Kopp, when he jumps up, he makes the most of it. And it's guys like that where you're going to need in the trenches. You're going to need that secondary scoring. And he's a guy where the other game came out, scored 4 goals, right? It's there. Kyle Connor is going to come out. He's always going to be there. Scheifele will step up. I think this is kind of like Wheeler's out, but the way that dressing room is, the way the team is so close, it's just next man up. Like let's carry it, and then when Wheeler comes back, it's just more firepower for the offense.
Yeah, the only where I noticed, you're right, Derek. They have enough firepower up front. The guys, guys who drive the play like Connor and Ehlers and Scheifele, they can afford to be without Wheeler for a bit. They're top heavy. They have a great top six, and then that third line is incredible. And you're right, Kopp can jump all over the lineup. Where I felt they missed him, and I'm sure they'll adjust, is the power play. The power play didn't look great against Montreal, so there'll be an adjustment period there because he's a pretty pivotal figure on the power play. But yeah, they'll be fine. I guess we don't know how long he's going to be out yet, do we?
Yeah, just that he didn't make the road trip. That was it.
And that's
which is 5 games.
5 games, yeah.
So yeah, that's substantial right there. And a concussion, you just never know, right? That you see players come back right away, and then you see it haunt certain players, and they just can't get back in the lineup.
Yeah, he could come back one game, maybe get bumped the wrong way, and then he's out again, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's somebody they need down the stretch too, especially playoffs coming up. Like, I'm not sure when playoffs will start, obviously, but that's not one guy you want missing.
I think they were saying they pushed the season back already a little bit. So I guess Vancouver might get their games in.
Yeah, I think Nick just helped us out here. Canucks reopen facilities for practice tomorrow with a return to play on Friday the 19th if all goes well. Schedule change for Canucks impacts 15 games in the North Division.
Ooh.
Wow. And obviously there's going to be some guys affected by COVID that probably don't get back as quick as others because there are some that have been pretty sick on that roster. So I imagine there'll be a lot of we've got Wheeler out indefinitely. So however long that winds up being. But however, there'll be some AHLers in that Vancouver lineup down the stretch, however many games they wind up playing.
You got to think with the Jets, though. I got them in the playoffs already, so it could just be a maybe wait till he is 100% and let's not force the issue here, right? Unless things go horribly south.
Yeah, you're right. It would have to be like for them not to make it at this point. I already have them penciled in against the Oilers, because it's going to take Montreal a lot of work to start with tonight to catch the Jets.
Yeah, and it like we were talking just before we got going, everything's a divisional game, so you can't really have a team say go out west, play out of conference or whatever, lose the points where you kind of gain ground, where everybody here is always.
I agree. Like they say this earlier, like every game's a 4-point game. Then you're trying to catch somebody, or like, especially tonight, this game tonight has a lot of impact on the points. Because let's say, like Winnipeg or Edmonton, somebody falters, there's an injury somewhere, or even over the Habs. These games, every game's must win. Like it goes without saying, but when every game's a 4-point game and you're battling for playoff position, it's so important right now.
Montreal really, they're going to be hard pressed to replace Gallagher in their lineup. That to me was a huge loss for them. He's their energy up front. He does so many little things for them. He's the heart and soul of that really good line they have. Their underrated line with Danault and Tatar. And they put Kotkaniemi on that line last game. And he played well. Yeah, I think he's been strong all year, really. But there's just no replacing a guy like Gallagher. And so that's a big loss for Montreal. The next question will be, is he going to get back for the first round of the playoffs, providing Montreal holds on to that final playoff spot?
Yeah, and especially against a team like the Leafs where he could get under the skin of players and maybe, right?
He's a playoff guy. Like he is his DNA, he is tailor-made for the playoffs. And you're annoyed with him before the game even starts. The other team's goalie is like, please, somebody kill that guy. I don't want to see him in my crease all night. And so, yeah, that's just one of those losses. And if you're a Montreal fan, then you're just praying, he'll be back for the first round.
Absolutely.
Because he is the motor of that team. I know it's always like next guy up mentality, but it's just without Gallagher, it's just that team is different. I'm not sure why. Yeah, Perry provides that net front presence and is kind of a pest just like Gallagher, but he just brings something that's intangible to the team that you just see it. You see the difference when he's there and when he's not. Same with the bubble last year in the playoffs.
Yep. 100%. Yeah. You can't replace that guy.
And it's especially, I think I was talking about this earlier in the week. I think you need some of your guys to really step up and start scoring too, right? Where Drouin's got 2 goals. I'm taking it tonight. I think he scores tonight. He's and if you get him going and you get that momentum going, those bottom 6 guys going, maybe it just kind of gets infectious to the power play and that gets going, right?
Yeah. Goal scoring. There's someone in the minors.
There's a guy.
He just won the Hobie Baker. I can't
3 goals in 2 games.
Yeah, I can't think of his name. Will he get? When is Cole Caulfield going to get called up? Come on, you guys. On the spot.
I gotta say, the Rocket have a week off after tonight, I think. So I'm not saying he's coming up this week, but you got to get you got to think 5 to 10 games maybe because there's no playoffs for the Rocket.
I think you let him get his feet wet in the A, maybe 5 games, and then bring him up because regardless, he's coming up as a black ace.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but I think you don't think he'll be right in the lineup right away, Derrick?
I think he will be.
Yeah,
and then he's a winger, so who's coming out? Especially you got Armia coming back.
The right wings are stacked on Montreal. No, I can't say stacked, but it's where they have the most depth up front. I find is the right wingers.
You got guys like Perry who can slide over, right? Like he's a vet. He knows how it's going. I think Lehkonen would be the guy to come out for him.
Agreed. I think he comes up sooner than later, and here's why. Even if he's struggling 5-on-5, their power play can look so bad on any given night, and Caulfield is an instant oomph for the power play. Just a weapon that you have to cover and worry about, and if the puck gets on his stick, it's usually something dangerous. So even if just to play mostly power play, I just think he gives them something that they don't have, which is they work hard every night, Montreal, pretty much. They drive play. They're like a washing machine. They're always working hard, but lots of times they're out playing teams and they're still tied. They're still scoreless midway through the second, or they're down 1-0, even though they're working their butts off and they got lots of shots. I'm not saying Caulfield's going to come in there and fill the net, but he just provides them with something that they don't have, a game breaker, a guy who can score when there's nothing really going on,
And
he's sorry, Derrick.
No, go ahead. All you.
I was just going to say, like, his shot, no matter what league he's in, it's an elite shot. And people were worried he wouldn't be able to find the time, the space, and the pros. Well, he's played 2 games with Laval. Yes, small sample size, I know. Don't roast me, but he's got 3 goals and assists in 2 games. He's finding that space. And like you said, if you just throw him out on the power play, set him up for success. He's not going to be a fourth-line grinder producing kind of kid. That's what what's his name?
A lot of those guys already, hey Brandon?
Exactly. Set him up for success. Put him on the power play. Let him get some space with one less guy, and let the shot do the talking here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and look at the year he's having. He had the World Juniors he won. He's rolled through the NCAA, scoring at will, and now he's scoring here. The confidence with him is huge, right? So why not? What do you got to lose here?
Exactly. I agree. Because Derrick, you got some stats here. Is the special teams for tonight? You got those handy? Since we're talking about power play, kind of almost losing momentum from the Habs last couple of years. I know this year's a little bit better, Phil, like you were saying, but
they're the 16th ranked power play right now, and then the Jets are 5th. Like, they're lethal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Do you guys I look at Montreal's power play, and they don't have a lot of they don't have an Austin Matthews or a Kyle Connor. Or even
they don't have that trigger guy.
Yes, and whereas they also, to me, don't have the real slick puck moving defenseman. I go back to an Andre Markov or a Subban. You look on the Jets; they got Pionk. The Leafs have Morgan Riley. They don't necessarily, and I think with the trade deadline looming, I would love to see Montreal pick up a puck mover, someone who can, drive the play from the back end. But
Ryan Ellis.
Is he available? Do you think with Nashville back in the hunt, Derrick, they'll move him?
I don't know. We talked about this last week too. With Nashville being in that spot, I think you're going to have to pay a lot to pry a guy out of there.
Well, yeah, Savard from Columbus just went for a first and a third today to Tampa Bay.
Yeah. Montour went as well.
Yeah.
So if David Savard goes for a first and a third, and Ekholm, what do they want for Ekholm? Don't they want 8 players? They want your logo, your mascot,
firstborn child.
Right. They want all your kids. So we know Ekholm. We know Ekholm is out of the picture. But Ellis, would he not command something similar as Ekholm is?
I think so.
Your first rounder, a prospect.
Nashville is an absolute defense factory, though.
Yeah, that's true.
It's incredible. They just keep pumping them out.
Yossi, Weber, Suter, the list goes. They didn't produce Subban, but Ellis, like you're saying, Ekholm, their D cores have whoever's drafting or scouting their D better be making a decent paycheck, because every year they seem to find this gem.
Great point. Drafts. And I think the Jets are in the market for a depth defenseman. But I can't. The Jets wouldn't be looking for an Ellis or an Ekholm or probably Josh Manson. Apparently, I love Josh Manson, and apparently he's available.
Philly, I want your opinion, because I think you might know a little better than me. But Ville Heinola, him and Nico are both still at the Moose, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would you bring up one of them as say a deadline accusation? Is that even what that's
acquisition?
There you go. An accusation.
I got it.
So who would you be and into the lineup instead of somebody? Or because I love Logan Stanley.
Yeah, he's done great, but I'm just saying they want to go out. I'm guessing someone's going to be asking for those 2 guys in return. Do you give that up though?
Do I give up Heinola in a trade?
Yeah, and then
no way.
Probably a pick, right? No
chance. Heinola to me or Sandberg. I wouldn't give up either of those guys. I love them both. That'd be the question. I think could you get a depth defenseman if you're Winnipeg for just draft picks? Because I think that's what Chevy would be looking to do. I don't think he wants to give up one of those young defensemen. That's not Chevy's style.
He holds his cards pretty tight too.
Yeah. I think Logan Stanley come playoff time, when big defensemen there's more of a premium on those big rugged defensemen. I have visions of Stanley just cross-checking guys in front come playoff time. And when you're going to play, when it looks like you might get the Oilers, and you're talking about Cassian And they've got some bigger forwards on the Oilers. I like the idea of Stanley clear in the front of that net. Like he's been a nice surprise this year.
Yeah, he's I think he's jumped ahead of a few guys on the depth chart too. And some people were like, "Oh no, we want Niku, we want Heinola," but he's come in and he has not looked out of place.
Yeah, and sorry, Brandon, go ahead.
No, I was just going to mention that I don't know if it's just a recent thing, but Montreal's bad for it as well, or our fan base, sorry, not Montreal is. We draft these kids now. There's so much video out there that we see the good plays they make, and then we see them get drafted, and like, okay, bring them up. But you still got to remember, some of these guys, 18, 19, 20, like they need some time here to grow into their bodies and be capable and actually develop. Like I find nowadays it's every team's almost trying to rush these guys just because of the name they had at a World Juniors or something, but it's not too bad that Heinola and Niku aren't in Winnipeg's decor right now. But like Derrick was saying, it could be almost like a rental player through your own asset in a way if they don't end up pulling off a trade. But I just want to get your thoughts on that. Especially
young defensemen. I mean, they get exposed quick, and the fan base can turn on them quick if they make a couple of glaring errors.
Yeah.
So I find Winnipeg's an organization, and I think Montreal too, with a few exceptions, pretty careful with defensemen. And I think that's a wise decision. And I think this, Niku, more ice time was there for him. It was his for the taking, but he didn't look good early in the year. He was a liability in his own zone. Now, does he deserve another chance? Sure. But yeah, I'm with you, Brandon. The young defenseman. And it's like the backup quarterback syndrome. Fans always fall in love with the guys in the minors. Like, oh, where's Sandberg? Where's Heinola?
Absolutely.
And even I'm a Habs fan. Where's is it Josh Brook? Where's he at? Like, I want to see him. And tonight Leskinen's playing, and I'm Otto Leskinen, and I'm excited to see him play. But we want to see the guys from the minors, right? They're always better than the guys that are in there.
Yeah.
But being patient with defensemen, and I mean, Kevin Cheveldayoff has shown that he knows defensemen. So I have faith in his knowledge on when to call these guys up. I really do.
What Chevy has done since the team has got here, and then where he has built this team is a machine.
Yeah,
I've always said, like, this team is an absolute machine. Every year, people get on them early. Oh, they lost 3 straight. Yeah, but if you look at it, everyone else does it too. But this team is consistently winning. Yeah,
and producing prospects. I was reading about Mason Appleton today, 6th round draft pick. And you look at some of the defensemen they've drafted since the team's been back. Trouba and Morrissey, and now Sandberg and Heinola. We haven't seen them yet, but and Stanley now starting to develop. Like, they know how. And Scheifele was a little bit off the board from when. I mean, we heard a lot of like going up. Not talking defensemen now, but forwards and Ehlers and Scheifele. Like, some of these draft picks, phenomenal.
How about the MVP of this team, 5th round pick, Connor Hellebuyck?
Oh, that's true.
5th round.
Definitely winner.
This guy, I honestly can see him winning. He can be like the next Hank Lundqvist.
Yeah,
he's a late pick, and this guy is he just wins.
Yeah,
he's dominant. Like,
I think he hides some of that stuff on their back end, like where they're lacking a D at the start of the year. I thought that was going to be Winnipeg's weakest point. Obviously, was the decor, but then you got to remember it's almost like Price in 2014 with the Habs. He can hide a lot of stuff, and you got Hellebuyck back there making 30, 40 saves. Anything can happen with the Winnipeg Jets.
They're a little they're a little leaky still on the back end. There's no question. At Hellebuyck, when you have a Vezina goalie, he covers up a lot of, exactly right, Brandon. He covers up a lot of errors and mistakes that the Jets make in their own zone. It's what a that was nice and loud. I love that. Which one of you guys was that?
It was Brando.
Whoa. That was high. That was nice.
I try to make it quiet too.
What a treat! What a treat to have Hellebuyck, because it just there's nights where I'm watching the Jets and they're being shots 18-3 like 3 minutes into the second period, and it's 1-0 Jets because Connor sniped one, and it's like he buys you time every night to get your legs underneath you.
Well, it could be why Chevy built the team like that too. Like, hey, we got Hellebuyck. I'm not going to waste, or not waste money, but I'm not going to go spend money getting a D-man because we're winning right now. We're in playoffs, and anything can happen in playoffs.
And this is one of those teams in the league, because there's not many, they can outscore their problems.
Yeah, that's a good point.
They have 6 players with 10-plus goals, which is second in the league, only behind Colorado and Florida. And they have 3 or 4 guys with 7, 8, and 9 goals. So they're almost up to 10 guys with 10-plus goals. Like, that is depth.
Yeah.
Where Montreal has 4 guys with 10 goals and then 3 guys who have a sniff at getting there too, right? Where you need that second, third, fourth line scoring.
Totally agree with you. And that's what I was kind of getting at earlier with when you look, like, I love these the analytics, like looking at which teams are up top 5, top 10, and all those analytical areas. I don't fully understand all of it, but I like looking at it. And Montreal, Winnipeg, they're in there in all the key categories. And then you say, so you take a team like Montreal. Well, so what's the difference between them and the Jets and them and the Leafs? Why are they behind them in the standings? And you start to look at it, and it's top end prolific scoring talent. That's the main difference in my. And goaltending comes in huge too. Hellebuyck's having a fantastic year again, whereas Price, I think he would admit he's not where he wants to be, right? And he's banged up right now. Jake Allen's played well for them. But, yeah, it's that top-end talent, the power play. Yeah. Can you score on the power play? Do you have guys that can, as Derrick said, outscore your problems? I love that.
Yeah. Well, sorry, go ahead.
All you, buddy.
No,
go nuts.
No, I was just going to say with Montreal was come playoff time, there's no more 3-on-3 overtime because we know also was it 8 or 9 losses for the Habs right now because of 3-on-3?
If they get 4 wins out of there, like instead of 1 and 9, where are they right now? They're right up there, right?
Exactly.
So, and if you go to overtime, do you want Frederik Andersen, Jack Campbell, or Carey Price in a one-shot game? Right?
I'll still take Price. I'm hoping, as a Hab fan, I hope by the end, that Price can find it. He's looked like he was starting to find it a little bit, playing deeper in the net, it looks like, with Sean Burke. And it sure would be something else to see him find his form again.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that's the thing. If he can find that form, you only need 1 or 2 goals.
Yeah,
that's right. Like, but I mean, if you go
and
up against, go ahead.
And another thing is 5-on-5. There's a lot more 5-on-5 hockey in the playoffs as well, and so you have to be a strong 5-on-5 team.
I'm just laughing at Dale here because so Dale's wife Lauren took the daughter for like a girls' weekend in the city, boy. And he's looking after the 3 kids just himself. So he's resorted to Fruit Loops for supper.
Dale, I've been there. We've all been there. But when my wife's away, it's usually either skip the dishes, chicken fingers, or boiled hot dogs. Like, it's real simple when my wife's not around.
I've resorted to Fruit Loops. Fruit Loops is a good cereal, though. Let's be honest.
My youngest loves cereal, and for all his meals, and it's so nice. Like, what do you guys want for dinner? I'll have cereal. Yes, I know I can make that.
There's no way I'm messing this one up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But going back to just tonight's game. We know Wheeler's out, but we're talking about elite goal scoring. I think James had a comment. Elite goal scoring is almost more important than elite goaltending now. Because we've heard Price say it that like 3rd to 4th line guys now in the NHL shoot like the first and second liners did 10, 15 years ago, right? So if you have that elite top 6 like the Jets have, let's say Wheeler's healthy, it just makes everything a lot easier now because the goaltending, it's got to be hard now with these guys, with these sticks and their shots. Like I have to agree with James with that comment of
100%.
Like the elite goal scoring, like we'll outscore you. And then we got a Vezina goalie caliber in net.
Well, and speaking of goals, we're not stats guys, but hey, I'm going to throw a few at you. Oh, that was a good crack. First period goals for the Jets, 35, Montreal 34. Second period, both have 47. And the big difference is the Jets have 41 in the third, and Montreal's got 35. Look
at you. Those were impressive stats. I'm telling you right now, Derrick. It's not a Montreal game if they're not down 1-0 in the first 2 minutes lately. Have you guys noticed that?
Oh, yeah, the opening minute.
I barely sat down. I get a push. I'm like on my way from upstairs to the TV, push notification 1-0 for the other team. Like, what?
Yeah.
It's 6:03. What do you like? How have you given up a goal already?
You go to the fridge, crack a can, and next thing you're like,
well, that's one big thing. They got to get better at starting periods, and ending periods is another one as well. Like those leaky goals with like less than a minute left at the end of a period, just to kill momentum. It's just something. Obviously, I never played in the league, but it's just one thing you'd like to see. It's just none of these first goals, like in the minute, like the first minute.
Listen, I played beer league, okay, which pretty much qualifies me to say this. You got to come out ready to go, okay? The fellas, someone's got to fire up the fellas in the room, okay? Get them ready for that opening minute.
Yeah, I mean, hey Phil, we've both been there. 2 minutes in the game, you're down 3-0, and you're like, boys, still a lot of hockey left. We're not out of it. Bang.
Except in beer league. Except in beer league, you go score 6 in the second because you have some young kid sparing that he's a ringer, and you're like, all right, we're back in this.
Yeah, we're okay, boys.
Every beer league finds that one guy that played junior or something somewhere, and you drag him out for a game.
Oh, that's the best. Derrick, have you had your brother out? I'm sure you have for your team once in a while.
No, he wants more money.
I'll do it, Derrick. I'll come out, but I want a couple of 2-4s, okay?
Oh, we pay in cans for sure.
Yeah, I would assume.
That's our number one currency.
Yeah. In cans we trust around here.
But I mean, listen, big game tonight for Montreal, and I expect for the Jets, and I expect it to be. It felt a little bit like a playoff game. You had the Perry questionable hit on DeMello, and then Stanley, the telephone pole on skates, went after Perry. Perry didn't want to fight him, and I expect similar intensity tonight. It's going to be two teams that have faced each other an awful lot this year.
I'm going to say, I'm going to take some heat for this. Perry didn't drop the gloves because Stanley got in there and dropped them. He was looking to draw a penalty there because he knew he wasn't getting called.
Yeah. Well, and Perry, I mean, Perry's he's a good veteran and he's a rugged guy, but that's out of his weight class and he knows it.
Oh yeah.
Now, should he have stood up after that hit? I mean, probably. So goes the hockey code, but he's going to lose that fight and he knows it.
Yeah, 100%. The guy's like 8 feet tall.
Yeah.
And it's not like I can see him going after Morrissey today.
Yeah, well,
I could see it.
Perry doesn't care.
No.
He's gonna be right in there.
I got a question for you guys regarding Perry, just for like how awesome he's played. We brought it before. We knew he wasn't going to have a bunch of speed, but the puck handling, the shooting around the net, it's still there. Would you offer Perry next year like the similar contract, just league minimum? Like, do you want to come back?
I want to say yes. The only thing. I love Ryan Poehling. They've got some good young guys. We got Caulfield coming.
Yeah.
The Habs have Caulfield coming.
No, it's we here, Philly. You're good. You're good.
Good. So as long as it doesn't affect the young guys' progress, and it's up to management to do that math in the offseason, but he sure has looked good for them. It'd be tough not to offer him another year.
Talk to him in the offseason and be like, are you okay with being that fourth forward on the fourth line?
Get scratched
where you're not playing every game, but you are scratched, but you're there to mentor the guys. I think what Berge did this year, bringing in a lot of the older guys and the cup champs for the playoff push, right? Where if you go down, 2-1, 2-0, where these guys who have been in those situations, who have made the cup runs, that's what they're here for, right? And if he's okay with doing that, absolutely sign him.
Yeah. I think it's so big, like bringing in Stahl, especially for face-offs for KK and Suzuki. What they can learn in the next few months is going to be awesome for their careers. And then having the pedigrees of Stahl, Perry, Webbs, Price, all these guys, even if they make a playoff run, like we said, there's no playoffs for the AHL. So you're going to get a bunch of these young guys as the Black Aces being at practice every day with these guys and learning. So I think, yes, they don't have to re-sign them, but like what knowledge and tips and tricks they're going to bring to these young guys is going to be amazing, in my opinion.
Yeah, and come playoff time, you look at that core of vets they have all of a sudden, and bringing in Stahl now and Perry and Weber, it's going to be invaluable in a playoff series against the Leafs. Theoretically, that is going to be World War III like that. Yeah. I remember the first game of the season when Weber was dropping the cross checks on Matthews in front, and it was the Leafs were all upset about that. And
Pablo didn't like that.
That's right. That's right. But playoffs, it's this magical thing where they don't call that stuff anymore, and that's where those Montreal defensemen that they've got about, you look at Edmondson, Weber, Sherratt, they've got some lumberjacks back there, and and then you look at Perry up front and Stahl, some big bodies. It's going to be interesting, and Bergie knows that, and you can't have enough veterans around come playoff time.
I think why not put Stahl and Perry together? Like, these guys have played on World Championships teams together. They've had success, I guess, together playing. Maybe throw them out there for a power play, because it's not a running gun. It's not full ice back and forth where the speed doesn't really matter so much, where maybe something clicks on PP2 or something, right?
Yeah. Their power play at this point, Derrick, if they could say, hey, Lafleur's looking good on the alumni circuit, let's put him back on the power play. If you told me that would work, I'd say do it. Because there's so many nights where I'm sitting there, and how many Habs fans, when that power play's a minute old and they can't get it in the zone yet, and you're just like, please stop. Yeah. This is so painful. Like, and especially when they need a goal late in a game and they can't even get it set up, it just drives me insane.
Because it doesn't even give them momentum. Like you said, they can't even get set up, so it just ruins the momentum. And it's almost like football. You want to be able to, like, no, we don't want the power play. We're deferring.
We're you guys were talking about earlier, and Phil said it earlier, they don't have that board presence, right? Where everyone knows Weber's the shot. Yeah. Maybe.
And the Jets are so nice on the power play. You watch them, and once they get it set up, like, it's just they all seem to have so much room because nobody wants to overplay the Connor one-timer, but yet Scheifele in the slot's got a beauty one-timer, and then you've got, like, it's just there's so many options, and with the Habs, you can see other teams, their scouting says just charge them. They've got some nice young players, but they're going to panic. Like, so Suzuki and Kotkaniemi, who are we all can agree they're going to be fantastic players. But on the power play, when you put some pressure on them, they tend to make a poor play, a poor decision, right? And rush it.
Do you have PK numbers, Derrick?
PK numbers? Yeah.
Like the Jets?
Jets are 12th, Habs are 22nd.
Oh, okay. So
they should have a better penalty kill, Montreal. They got a lot of guys like Armia and Lehkonen and Byron, and their defense is big, good shot blockers. Why isn't their PK better?
I'm going to defend the PK. You're against divisional teams again, where you got Matthews and all that.
Toronto, Winnipeg, some of the best players. Yeah,
where
that makes sense.
They're getting roasted this year.
A couple people have asked about, and I'm hoping you guys know a little more about Cale Fleury and where I loved Cale Fleury when he first arrived on the scene. I guess it would have been last year. He rugged, nice passer, and he's sort of like with Otto Leskinen playing tonight, and we've seen Mete. We've seen Mete in there a lot, even though he struggles. So we've had a couple of questions, people wondering what has happened with Cale Fleury. Is he not playing well?
I'm not sure. I don't have enough knowledge on it to comment confidently about it. But like you said, watching him last year, it was like Cale Fleury and then Romanov. I was like, who wants to skate down the wings with those two?
Yeah,
getting ready to just absolutely crunch them. So maybe somebody in the chat knows what's going on with Fleury a little bit more than what we do. Unless Derrick, do you know? But he's another one. Like, he played on quite a bit of games last year. He looked good.
Yeah.
And then this year, I don't know.
always liked him, but he can't get the call this year. So I mean, I love their AHL coach Joe Bouchard. So if
get her a can, get Paisley a can, a bubbly.
I thought maybe the way you
it's
laughed
Bublé.
when I mentioned Bouchard and you laughed, I thought maybe you had inside information.
No.
Okay.
No, I'm getting heat for not giving Paisley cans over here. They're my cans.
But they've got some guys in that organization who know the defensive position, starting with their general manager, and then Bouchard, the coach of the of Laval, who I'm hearing great things about. So if Fleury's not getting the call, then there must be a reason.
Maybe I have no idea what's going on, but maybe just practices too, right? Like maybe he's not 100% focused, or he's not there sometimes, where maybe Primo's staying out and getting the extra reps, or he's doing the extra little things where the coaches see him maybe wanting to develop like more. I have no idea.
Like I'm interested to know, and I bet you, Derrick, you have more knowledge of this. Just read that he got injured pre-pandemic. Okay, so we got a comment.
That makes sense.
Fleury got hurt. But when they want to recall a player, like say the Habs, okay, we need a defenseman, like Mete, it's not working out. Do they so they would, the first call is, hey, Joël Bouchard, who's playing well, who's putting the work in, who like, is it that must be kind of the process, right?
I think they do call the coach. I'm hoping there's a guy in the chat listening eating
for Paisley's can. He's paying for Paisley's can.
Yes.
My kids are watching. Don't want a can.
I have read that Leskinen has been one of their best defensemen for the Rocket this year, so I think that's why he did get the call up.
I've heard that too. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, I think a lot of fans saw Fleury last year. Same thing you said, Derrick. Like, nice body checks. He was moving the puck well. And then he did start to struggle a bit, but he was young. It was his first year. But people feel like, fans feel like, what, we were going to write this kid off already? So, and the Ouellette thing was kind of interesting that Xavier Ouellette got a shot before Leskinen and some of the younger guys. I think they wanted a safe choice with the Ouellette.
Whitehorse, there you go.
Whitehorse, Yukon. Wow. Thank you for tuning in. That's awesome.
That's Cozen's country up there.
Would you guys agree, though, Montreal struggles has a lot to do with inconsistency, and that's what you run into when you have a young team. Like, you got Suzuki and Kotkaniemi, and they're being counted on for so much, and Romanoff as well. And there's some nights where Kotkaniemi, it's like, whoa, he looked incredible tonight, and you're like texting all your Habs fan buddies going, man, he's arrived, here we go. And then the next night,
you're picking him up on fantasy, you're riding that train, right?
Here comes KK, and same with Suzuki, and then you're changing your fantasy team name. I've done it a few times, like Nick the Trick, here we go. And then the next game, it's like they struggle, and that's young players, right? Especially in a condensed schedule. It's some nights they're amazing, and then the next night they're blowing assignments and
kind of rolling off what you're saying here, but even going to the Jets with this one, where Wheeler says they take it in little blocks. Where when has this team really in the past couple years lost more than 3 in a row? They don't.
The Jets,
no.
Yeah, that's a great point.
And where Montreal kind of has, they fall off here, they lose 3, 4 in a row. Where a young guys that's kind of demoralizing. Where you got to find your feet, right? And I think with the leadership team here, it is going in the right direction. And that's...
I say so.
Yeah. And I think you don't want too many young guys in the lineup. Like, you look at Ottawa, they compete every night. But they're not winning, right? Where sometimes that will knock a guy down a few pegs, where some guys, it doesn't bother them so much. But I think with Suzuki and KK, Suzuki... he's going to get going here eventually. You saw what he did last year in the bubble.
Oh, I love Suzuki. I love him, but there are nights where it's, and especially you never want to offensively try some trick play through his legs on a 2-on-1, and you're like, just rip it. Have you ever seen him snipe? Like, we've seen this with him on a 2-on-1 every now and then. He'll snipe it, and it's like, whoa, why don't you rip? Because he gets he's such a smart player. He gets opportunities, and if you want him to shoot more, you want him to, but you can't. I guess an offensive player like that, you don't want to kill his offensive spirit, right? So you let him do his thing, and he'll figure it out eventually.
You don't want
especially
to tell
when we're nowhere near close how good they are. But I have one question for you guys, just to.
You sure?
Hey, so I sneak away and go play NHL games. But I was going to ask you guys. It seems like in Florida, with the Montreal Canadiens, would you guys agree that like there's almost two windows here? Like you have the Price, Weber, Petrie window that they're trying to capitalize on right now.
Petrie's a beautiful man.
And then you have another window coming with all, like you got the Caulfield, Suzuki, Kotkaniemi, Primo, all these young kids are coming. Like Burge is almost trying to manage two different kind of windows here. He's trying to win with Price and Weber, but also not sacrifice his next window that he sees coming.
That was beautifully said, Brandon, because I tend to like that second window better. I mean, I wonder about the first window. I think they're going to be a handful for whoever they meet in the playoffs with the lineup they have, big and strong and lots of veterans. But yeah, I agree 100% with what you're saying. He's trying to manage exactly because they have some great kids coming, like Suzuki and Caulfield. I'm excited for that tandem for the next 10 years. And then, Paling, who's not even with the team, and Kotkaniemi and Romanov. So yeah, it's a careful balance not to give up too much. Like we're talking trade deadline, and they really they can really use a dynamic defenseman. But Bergie's not going to give up any of their young core for that.
No, because that's his next window. That's set for a while.
Is that window there though? Because I think he has to win a series, right?
Yeah.
With this team, he has to win a series. And as bad as it sounds when you're probably going to go up against Toronto, right? But but think of the confidence that this team gets if you beat the Leafs. You beat and you're into the second round.
Pricey gets hot.
You're into the second round. You win that, you're in the conference final.
Are they really giant under? Like, look, there's Toronto, there's Leaf fans who are going to go nuts when I say this. But if
there's none here, Philly, don't worry about that.
Let's assume look at the stats. They're not that far. Like the Leafs and Habs, if they go into a series, we start talking about a series with these two teams. If you go into the analytics and you go into the 5-on-5 play and the high danger chances, like Montreal is going to be a handful for Toronto. Like, and Toronto has to go on a run this year. Like, are their markets going to spontaneously combust? And they're going to meet the Habs in the first round. That's not a gimme series by any stretch. Like, Montreal's going to give, like, I don't know. There'll be some people picking the Habs in that series.
The amount of pressure on that Leaf team too. Yeah, they have to win. Like they can't go in the first round again. This is the thing is everyone's saying there's no Boston, there's no Tampa. We need to go here, right? Where
exactly
it's way like all the time where Montreal sneaks in 8th or 7th and they play the number 1 Boston team. Well, Boston can't get over that hump. Montreal always goes through. I'm not sold on the Toronto goaltending either.
Goalie controversy now too.
Yeah.
Well, they got big problems there. We don't know what's going on with Freddie. So I thought Dubnyk would be a good landing spot for Toronto, but the salary considerations there.
Colorado.
That's a good pickup for them. That's a good pickup.
That's goalie that last year they lost their goalies in the bubble to injuries, but now they're rolling. Grubauer's playing awesome, and now you got Dubnyk there to back him up.
Yeah.
Colorado team is impressive.
Bold prediction, Doobie Binnington, Game 3, fight of the playoffs. It's going down. Calling it right now.
But yeah, I mean that Leaf Habs series, if it happens, and I'll tell you what, Sportsnet is praying for it because the ratings will be off the charts. But yeah, it's once you get into a series and you start talking about Freddie Anderson. How many games is he even going to play before the playoffs? Is Jack Campbell our guy? And Montreal, we haven't even gotten to the trade deadline, so we don't even know truly what these is. Toronto going to look at a high impact forward, or is their move? They made a move, right? Their move's done, or
they made a move to make more cap space.
So they have more
Nash.
Yeah,
from Colombo, right?
Yeah,
and that bought them more cap space.
And arguably, he's one of the best fourth line centers in the league. I think if you looked at his stats and stuff, I don't have them because I'm not stats guy like Derrick. But
so that's
pretty good. He's on the right now.
That happened today. I was on the golf course. Sorry,
but I think if you're the Leafs, I mean, you're in first in the division. You got Campbell that's going hot. Like, do you add more offense to that firepower, or do you try to solidify your back end? I'm not sure what they do. Dubas is in a tough spot here. You mess up what you got going?
I'm pretty sure they stand pat with the back end. If they add anything, I think it'll be a forward, some kind of to add a little more offense in case you get into a series and someone shuts down Matthews and Marner. Now, good luck. That's
hard. Yeah.
But we've seen it before. We've seen teams, when shut down your top line. So you've got to have. So who would they be thinking about then? I'm just looking at.
I go after Foligno.
Oh, is he available?
I'm not sure if he's available, but I'd be trying.
I mean,
that's a guy that gets you through playoffs. With leadership, offensive.
He's number 4. He's number 4. Sorry, Derek. On this draft board I'm looking at, if you're Toronto, I do what it takes to get a guy like that. I didn't even realize if he's available, go get him.
Yeah.
But in that, there's the guy going the other way.
Yeah.
He comes in. You're missing 2 guys for a couple weeks here. Edmonton. Yeah. I mean, Toronto has a game in hand, and they're 5 points up on Edmonton, but
are they not pretty close to locked up top spot?
Well, they have.
You got to think
they got the Jets.
That's true.
Bit, right? Where the Jets want that home ice.
I've heard them attached to Granlund out of Nashville, but Nashville's back in the race again.
Yeah.
Where's Taylor Hall going to go?
Exactly. I don't know. I thought the Islanders might, but they did their move.
I'm going to be the guy here that says Taylor Hall does not go anywhere. I'm just going to say it.
You think Buffalo's going to lose him for nothing in
the
summer?
What he went
has the cap space?
He went
10 mil.
Florida. Florida's got like $20 million.
Colorado still has a bunch.
Yeah. But what do you give up there, though? Colorado's not giving up any.
No.
But and even going that way, I'm just going to say, he got traded from Jersey to Arizona to help them push.
Yeah.
Nothing. Then he went to Buffalo. I think the guy, how many goals does he have, honestly? I know the teams,
I'm not sure.
But
speaking of this made me think of it quick. Speaking of deadline day, Monday, we are going to, the Habs night team will be doing deadline coverage. I'm not sure if we're going to be live the whole day, some marathon stream, or we're just going to jump in and out every time there's a trade. Somebody's going to jump on. I think Dale said he was going to be a part of it, so that's kind of cool. And Nick's going to be a part of it.
Notifications on.
Yeah, Monday, the Habs night, we'll be doing some deadline stuff.
That's going to be a lot of cans for you guys because trade deadline day is a long day.
I got to work.
It's one of those nights I'm happy I kind of work during the day.
Yeah, I'm going work Monday. I don't.
It's like you're calling in sick, Derek. It's trade deadline day, buddy. Come on,
Derek and I can do the night shift.
Yeah, we'll take over the night shift. We'll take Tuesday off.
You guys think Montreal's going to add a defenseman?
I don't know. I think if it is, it might be right at the deadline.
Yeah,
I would. If it cut, they've got $3.5 million they're saving on Gallagher.
Yeah.
That injury.
Armia coming.
What's that, Brandon?
The Sherrod and Armia are coming back too, surely. I don't know. He's got to do some cap gymnastics without.
Yeah, because $3.5 million doesn't buy you much. I mean, much, but for an I'd look at it. Josh Manson's got to be making more than $3.5 million. Vince Dunn has to be.
Colorado went out and got Nemeth from Detroit, right?
Yeah.
That guy's not bad. That's a depth guy, and I don't think he makes that much.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, it's somebody that moves the puck more.
Agreed. Like Vince Dunn. That would be my if money wasn't if money wasn't a concern, I'd say Vince Dunn because he's going to move the puck for you a little better, play the power play.
Yeah.
So that would be a guy. How about Goligoski out of Arizona? He's played the power play.
I like that, but Arizona's in right now, aren't they?
Arizona is in 4th. They're
fighting off St. Louis, right?
They're a point up on St. Louis. St. Louis has a game in hand. They're 3 up on the Sharks. The Sharks have 2 in hand.
Is there anybody you can peel off the Sharks back? No, Vlasic, Carlson, Burns, way too much money.
There's not a lot.
There's not a lot out there, really.
No, Cole Miller out of Buffalo is not a bad hockey. He's a pretty good defenseman.
How about what I've heard is Iafallo as a forward coming out of LA?
Yeah, he's getting a lot of buzz. He's a young guy too.
Yeah, I've actually, because of the way it's been going, where they've been playing in Minnesota, it's been nice. So you got to see some of these Western guys for a couple games in a row. And if Iafallo's out there, maybe take your shot on Adrian Kempe. I'm big on that guy.
Yeah.
So you're saying Montreal should go after a guy like Kempe?
I saw some random thing. I can't remember where I saw it, where they were saying Getzlaff's out there too.
Listen, one thing we've learned about, I don't know what you guys think, but Berkey is going for it. Like, he feels the pressure in this. I don't know if it's that he feels the pressure or that he feels like he's got a team that can do something. But like he showed up with Stahl, even in the offseason, like Perry. And so I feel like we shouldn't be surprised by anything.
No, especially Burge.
Well, Philly, you touched on Josh Manson out in Anaheim there. And if you look back, he does have a history of trading with Anaheim.
Yeah. He loves those defensemen.
He sent Yuri Seacatch out there. He sent Ticker out there.
Seacatch.
Oh, yeah, we're throwing her back.
Some good stats.
But no, hey, not a stat guy. But no, there is a history there, right? So
yeah,
it's true.
You kind of you gotta look at little stuff that.
He loves those defensemen. He was that kind of guy when he played, and you can just tell his history speaks. Does it not, to defensemen like that? Like, look at Edmondson.
I think that's the reason the Habs don't have that puck moving speedy D.
Thank you. And I love Joel Edmondson. He leads the NHL in plus minus. Yeah. But when the signing happened in the offseason, I don't know about you guys, but I couldn't help but say I would have loved to see that money go to a puck moving defenseman who can quarterback the power play. And Edmondson's been great, but you can tell they've got an affinity for that form of defenseman, and they must think come playoff time, this is what you need.
Just offhand, how many UFAs does this team have going into next year?
Dano for sure.
Oh,
is Armia up too?
Yeah, I think Armia's
up. Blackman might be up.
So Dano's going to walk then, eh? Ooh, I think he's an underrated player.
Well, you got Paling ripping up the A right now, but I don't think you can rock the 4 young C's like the KK, Suzuki, Evans. No. You can't rock the 4 young C's, but they got to start planning for that time, though.
But
Paling's coming up. Like, he's going to be here next year. If not, like, he's got.
Do you think he rides out the deadline and then maybe lets a few guys walk and then tries to get a big defenseman in the offseason? I heard Rasmus Dahlin is even out there.
Jeez.
Imagine getting that guy.
But I'll go back to what David Savard got today. like when you realize that David Savard went for a first and a third, like what on earth are you going to have to give up with Rasmus Dahlin?
With Montreal and all their draft picks too, like how do you not toss? The first is pricey because I know Burge likes his assets, but a first and a third for that, it's tough.
I would have given it up. You know what? To improve that 5-6 defense, if you put David Savard with Romanov, I think that would have looked pretty good on the 5-6. So he must have. My thinking is probably what you're thinking, Brandon. That Savard doesn't give them enough.
It's not the puck movement. It's another steady Eddie shot eater, pretty much.
Exactly. So they're thinking I'm thinking he's thinking For a first and a third, I want someone who can at least play on my power play.
Exactly.
And so
we got
maybe
Victor Mete is the only RFA for defensemen this offseason.
poor Mete, you know, I like Mete, but he just for his skill set, like he's such a good skater.
If he had a shot, he'd be incredible.
Boom. And he gets opportunities because of his legs, but he just once he gets into a little open ice, he literally like he's looking for someone to pass to because he can't, you know, he can't make he can't shoot hard enough to or whatever to make something happen from that open space. I hate saying an NHLer can't shoot hard enough because right. But if he had just more offensive acumen, he'd be such a dynamic player because he could skate.
See, I just want to pull up this one comment. I want to get you guys' thoughts. Nate McKinnon said Deneau is one of the most frustrating players to play against. He said this on Chicklets, should be considered for a Selke. If we look at, Phil, you've brought it up numerous times, these stats, that like Deneau, Tatar, Gallagher, when they're playing like they can, is one of the best 5-on-5 lines in hockey, like in the NHL. So I don't know, like, do you let Deneau walk? Like we still, in my opinion, I think we still need him. I know he's not the most offensive guy, but when McKinnon's saying that about you.
For some reason, he's become I know not for some reason. He has trouble scoring. So he's become a whipping boy for the Montreal fan base. But I do believe when Deneau leaves, we're going to be like, don't know what you got till it's gone. Because I do think he's an underrated center. If he could just score more, he'd be a Hab for life.
Do you keep Deneau and maybe for that big defenseman, do you trade Tatar? He's a UFA.
Tatar versus Deneau, that's a heck of a question. I would say Deneau.
He's at 4.8 right now. And then
I hate saying it, but you got to get rid of him at his high, like with his highest value.
I'm just kind of
looking. Who's easier to replace, Deneau or Tatar? I think a Paling would have an easier time replacing Tatar than Deneau. Because Deneau's so good defensively.
Everybody needs that shutdown center, right?
Yes.
You need that. And and what are teams always looking for? They're looking for that big center down the middle where they're very hard to find now.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then I'm just looking here quick. Montreal's got 7 picks in the first 4 rounds. So
so they can toss some picks out.
You can throw a few picks.
Ian commented it's easier to replace a winger. And
it is.
I agree. And that's a great comment from McKinnon. Like, I love that. And that's not the first person we've heard say that Deneau is hard to play against defensively. And that line, all in all, is so good. And I think a lot of it has to do with Gallagher. And would you guys say on that line, if you took that line, Tatar, Deneau, Gallagher, would we all agree that Tatar is the most replaceable out of those 3 guys, or what do you guys think?
Absolutely.
I agree, and not an insult to him, but Deneau gets the possession, and then it's Gallagher usually getting them in. Tatar's people can make the playmaking. They can pass to Gallagher or take the shot, and Gallagher gets the rebound because he's already in the crease or in the net.
I'm just gonna go with loyalty to the team too. Gallagher's been there for so long.
Yeah.
Dan Deneau came in with a trade, so he's been there. He's not here to score 30 goals, right?
No,
he's not there to score 30 goals. Where Tatar was brought in to be a goal scorer, he's seen his ups and downs. Where you can let that go.
I'll readily admit I can be very irrational as a Habs viewer, but I don't quite the Deneau frustration among Hab fans are ruthless towards Deneau. Do you guys notice that on Twitter? They are all over him, and I watch. Like you guys, I watch almost every game, and I'm never left there sitting there going, Deneau didn't give us what he had tonight. Like, I never leave a game going, Deneau was lazy. You know,
Dale said it best. Dale was like at the start of the year, he was like, he's not there for like the offensive production. Like, there's so much more stuff that Deneau does that people don't really realize.
Yeah, and I guess some of the frustration was he was offered a pretty good contract, right? And he thought he turned it down. So there's that.
What do you think?
I would say Tatar being on the right side, if he slides out, there might be a guy. As Brandon would say, he's looking for number 8, though.
Oh, yeah. I made such a bad mistake last post-game, too.
What happened? Come on, Brad.
I'm sitting in the chat. Me, Dale, and Derrick are having fun in the chat with everybody during a post-game, and they're asking, like, what number would Caulfield wear? And since Sherratt's been out for a bit, I completely forgot. I'm like, he's taking 8 100%. Like, he's wearing 44 in Laval. 4 plus 4 equals 8. Guy. Numbers guy. He's taking 8. And somebody goes, I apologize if they're in the chat. They go, what about Sherratt? And I was like, Caulfield wins in a fight, lower center of gravity. He gets 8.
Good comeback, though.
Yeah.
I think I got a similar story. So on Twitter, someone said to me, what was it? Stahl. Stahl scored the winner the other night. And I said, he looks great in a Hab uniform. What a goal. And someone said, I can't believe they let him wear 21. And I love Guy Carbonneau, one of my favorite players, because I couldn't score to save my life. So I had to shape myself, even in house league, to be a grinder like Carbonneau, right? So my dad used to say to me, play like Carbonneau. So I had a brain fart about Carbonneau. And so the guy said, I can't believe they let him wear 21. And I replied, yeah, Brian Giunta. I can't believe Giunta's number's not hanging from the rafters. And the guy says, no, I was talking about Carbonneau. And I'm like, a Hall of Famer. How did I forget Carbonneau?
Oops.
Yeah. But, I mean, hey, we all forget. Like, the Habs have had a lot of great players wearing various numbers. So yeah, it can happen.
Well, I think we're getting closer to puck drop, aren't we?
Yeah. Let's do some bold hot takes.
Bold predictions.
All right. You lead it off, Derrick.
Wow. Okay, fine, sure.
Put you right on the spot.
Yeah, all right. I'm all about it. Saturday night. Let's go. Drouin, goal and assist. Habs win 4-2, empty net.
All right, Phil, go ahead.
The bus comes crashing through Bell Center, and the second Caulfield jumps off. Snipes 2. No.
Yes.
With a cape on, with a big C and 44 on the back, and one times. Does he score any goals that don't go bar? Like I've never. I think 85% of his goals go ting, and like always that beautiful sound.
It's like crushing a can.
Oh, exactly. I'm gonna go with the Habs tonight. I think 5-2. There's always these games out of nowhere where they just find the net. They work so hard, and then every few games they just get rewarded for a bunch of early goals. I think tonight's one of those nights. They've been playing hard. I see them putting up a few early goals on the Jets, and let's go 5-2.
Ooh.
All right. I think Petrie gets back in the saddle. I think Petrie gets a goal. Beautiful man. We always say it.
So beautiful.
Sharp dressed, eh? Like
dressed
man.
Let's get some ZZ Top in the background here.
So I think Petrie gets one. I think Habs win 3-1. I was joking about Derrick earlier today. Everybody's been commenting how like freshly shaved. If Habs lose, I will grow out a mustache for the next month.
You already got one.
You would look good, Brandon. I gotta say, you it would work for you. Like I can kind of see it now, and I think it would work for you.
It's gonna be
you
there
just saw the one I had today. I had to.
You look like the kind of guy that if you did shave, like you might have shaved at 2:00 today.
Right?
I think that's what it was too. But I sent a picture of Derrick today. I did the handlebars for a joke. I was just going to show up and stream without saying a word.
I'll send it in the chat after. It's beautiful.
I think Habs win 3-1. If they don't win, I'll grow a mustache out, chat, and everybody can keep me accountable here.
Might be too aggressive for Cans.
Habs win. But you want to wrap this one up here? We got puck drop here in a few minutes.
Yeah. Philly, you want to tell everyone where we can find you on social media and how they can listen to the morning show?
Yeah, absolutely. Winnipeg's Rock Station, Power 97. We're on 6 to 10, Monday through Friday. And on social media, Philly_on-air, Facebook. I'm on Instagram as well. And I want to tell you guys, anytime you want to have me on, this was so fun. This was
you're fun. Coming back. I was telling
thank you.
I was telling Brando that because we're all about crushing cans, that you actually got involved with a brewery and made your beer. I want to know about that. So we're definitely bringing you back.
Anytime. I mean, anytime, guys. It was so fun.
I just got to highlight this one quick. This is my buddy. I'm supposed to be at a diaper party right now. This is my best friend Bronson. Hurry up, we're crushing kegs instead of cans, so I got to log off and run back down to the diaper party. But everybody, Phil, 100%, we want you back on, especially if Habs make playoffs. Derrick, cheers, buddy.
Cheers.
I expect a FaceTime later.
Yeah, we'll FaceTime later, after hours.
After hours.
All right, guys.
After hours.
Everybody from Habs tonight, we thank you.
We're gonna
Go
get
Habs.
fans. We're gonna get a
Go
fan.
Habs, go. Thank you very much.
Woo! Let's go.